Welcome everyone as we gather online, in person, and in our own spaces to remember and celebrate our special family member and friend, Mary Patricia Cathey. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Shelley Haydell, and although Mary and I are not related by blood, she was very much a part of my family. As many of you know, Mary fought cancer for over 2 decades, longer than anyone I have ever known. She always said, "I will live for a long time because I will outlast the drugs. And when one drug stops working, there will be a new one." And she was right, and she had the right attitude. However, on February 22nd, 2020, Mary finally had enough. Considering Mary's wisdom, she must have had an underlying intuition and awareness of what was ahead. I have a feeling that Mary said to herself, "I hit my goal. I lived for 70 years. No more treatments, no more surgeries. And oh yeah, there's a pandemic brewing. COVID-19 is coming. It's time for me to go." And so she left us here to handle the pandemic on her own without having to worry about how she was doing. Typical of Mary, she didn't want to burden anyone. As one of her best friends, Annette, remarked, "I think that the will that Mary used to stay alive was the same will that she used to check out." Little did we know that we would have to postpone Mary's services in celebration of life, not just once, but 2 times, as we tried to ensure everyone's safety and health during this pandemic. And as we have all worked together and adapted, we decided to craft her eulogy and celebrate Mary's life by sharing this tribute online. Mary has been resting and at peace since February 22nd, and we will come together for the interment of her ashes and celebration of life services at Woodlawn Cemetery in Franklin, North Carolina on September 21st, 2020 at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Today, I have several messages to share, including the ultimate message. Let's continue to celebrate Mary's life and legacy with love, with friendship, with stories, drawing on all of these things that help us heal while honoring her memory. Many years ago, I read a poem that touched me and has touched millions of others. The name of the poem is The Dash. We rejoice at the first date, the year of birth, and we mourn at the second date, the year of death. However, the most important aspect of our lives is represented by the little dash that connects these dates. Mary Cathey had a wonderful dash of 70 years. As a child, Mary's family knew that she was destined to be a teacher. She would gather all of the younger kids in the neighborhood into a makeshift classroom. And as she organized her own personal classroom full of neighborhood kids, it was going to be no nonsense and probably not very fun play date where Mary would be teaching and her students would have to pay attention and learn, even on a Saturday. And true to form, Mary was a teacher for 12 years in Iowa before moving to Franklin, North Carolina to help care for her mother. Like her mother, Mary exhibited great strength, determination, and an undying positive outlook. Using these characteristics in her years as a teacher, she wanted to start a new career as a golf teaching professional. So out of the blue, she called the National Golf Foundation, spoke to the Director of Education, who suggested that Mary attend one of the educational seminars. The next year, Mary attended that golf educational seminar, and the rest was history. Her new career in golf was launched. And remember that stranger that she spoke to at the National Golf Foundation, the Director of Education? Her name is Annette, and she and Mary stayed friends for the next 38 years. Annette has given me permission to share some stories of Mary's dash and her contributions to the game of golf. Using that fierce determination, Mary leased a pasture, moved in an aluminum shed, put some barrels out with yardage markers, and opened the Parker Meadows driving range in Franklin. Using what one may say are unconventional business approaches, she funded her new enterprise and hired local boys to shag balls at a penny a ball. She later partnered with the couple who owned the land, and together they built a beautiful 9-hole executive golf course called Parker Meadows Golf Course. What was the lasting legacy of Mary's first golf venture? One of those boys who shagged balls is now an experienced PGA director of golf. Although clearly not the same as a PGA director of golf, I learned how to play golf at the Parker Meadows golf course. Mary gave me lessons over 2 days and then decided that I was ready to play a round of golf. Was I ready? No way. But Mary said, "You won't learn unless you play, and you are ready to play." I could not disagree with that, and Mary sent me out to play my first round of golf. At night, in complete darkness, with glow-in-the-dark fluorescent golf balls and no lights. It didn't go well. But I had a blast watching those fluorescent balls fly and roll in every direction except towards the pin. I fondly remember the beauty of those glowing golf balls float down the Parker Meadows Creek. In true Mary style, and with her undying positive outlook, she told me that I would get better, and I did, especially when I played during the day. As she advanced as an LPGA teaching and golf professional, she complemented her excellent teaching skills by becoming an accomplished club fitter, honing her craft in North Carolina and Florida. When the family decided to sell the Parker Meadows land for development, Mary packed up her skills and experience and moved to the New Orleans area, joining the golf staff at a small public facility. And true to form, Mary became lifelong friends with many of the people for which she gave lessons. With friends and family located throughout the country, Mary had a vast support network when she developed breast cancer. Ever the fighter, she bounced back after successful surgeries and treatment and continued playing and teaching golf. And when she later moved back to Franklin, Mary was fond of saying, "I'm not sick, I have a disease." She did not let cancer define her, and she preferred to move about life, putting the disease in the back seat. It was this positive, persistent attitude that allowed her to fight through hundreds of tests, treatments, scans, surgeries, and procedures. In early 2017, Mary was in the hospital after surgery to remove her dead and diseased lower jaw, thanks to severe side effects from a chemotherapy drug, when she unexpectedly lost her partner. Dealing with these recurring adversities would break many of us, but Mary kept pragmatically fighting and valiantly living. She constantly set new goals for herself, and she hit them. She reached her goal of living to 70, and she even played golf on her 70th birthday. One of the things that always impressed me was the vast number of friends that Mary has. She was a friend that shared her life and everything she had with so many. She was the ultimate giver. She would do anything for you, and literally, she would give you the shirt off of her back. Close friends are truly life's treasures. True friends touch our hearts and never let go. You all touched her heart, and she never let you go. You are the family that she chose. Mary was a quiet fighter. Just when you thought that she couldn't take anymore, she would rally and fight back with mental fortitude. She knew what she was doing even when the rest of us didn't. And miraculously, she never seemed to be in pain, or at least so she said. She lived, she endured, she cared, she loved, she gave, she played, and she fought until the very end. Mary's spirit is not gone. She is here among us. She lives within the mind of every person who knew and loved her. She lives within our hearts. We keep her spirit forever. Throughout the years, I have ended many eulogies and messages with a poem. As is my tradition, I have composed Mary's Celebration of Life poem. We finally celebrate Mary's life as we tune in online. Ever the generous person, in our memories she will shine. Her dash represents the time that she spent here on earth, and today we all cherish what that little line is worth. Mary was not very social, one of the quietest people you'll know, but her giving nature and love was always ready to show. Resilient and persistent, ever the go-getter, always asking the doctors, "Can I play golf when I get better?" But deep in our hearts, we certainly know, with the pandemic approaching, she said, "It's time to go." Mary's golf legacy lives on, her collection now at Reams Creek, with history and her favorite things for any golfer to seek. To all her dear friends and family, you were her light. You helped care for her as she continued to fight. She cherished our friendships. She loved in quiet reserve. She'll always be the great fighter we wanted to deserve. She has earned her angel wings and visits with loved ones past. She's watching down on us, saying, make our memories last. She plays golf all heavenly day, and she eats real food. She enjoys never-ending chocolate, always in a good mood. She is truly pain-free, playing heavenly penny slots, standing at the golf tee box, calling her own shots. We'll miss her generosity and spirit as bright as the sun. In our tribute to Mary, we say, job well done. Mary, you gave us all your best. You fought hard to the end. Collectively, we all say, Godspeed, our good friend.